In this video, we're going to instantly make your sniping edits better using sound, time, and visuals. It is going to be easier than you ever thought. Let's get into it. Okay, before I actually get into the weeds of how we're going to make this edit, I'm going to show you before and after so you know exactly what we're working towards through this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the edit. To make it, we're gonna need the following 7 items. I tried to keep it really simple, and I also included all of them in a folder in the description below. So the first thing you're gonna need is obviously your clip. The second is gonna be a clip in the firing range, shooting the same sniper rifle you use in the video without a suppressor. The third thing that you're gonna need is a song. So of course in this edit, I'm using the song Lean On. The fourth thing you'll need is a riser sound effect. The fifth is going to be a whoosh sound effect. The sixth is going to be a whoosh sound effect with a heartbeat. Again, I included it below. And the seventh item we need is going to be just a simple white square. The next step is going to be taking your clip and marking in and out where you want it to begin and end. Note, this is something we're going to be able to edit later, so a rough estimate will do. After it's dragged into the timeline, the next thing you're going to want to do is right click on the clip and then direct yourself to unlink. Click unlink. Click the audio and then delete. We're not going to use any of the organic sound in this clip. We're going to use all of our own sounds just to make it sound really cool. So once the sound is removed, we're going to go to our clip and find right where the animation kind of gets exciting. In this case, it's when we're jumping off the roof of Grandma's house. You're going to want to cut the clip there. And now the part on the right, you're going to want to slow down. You right click the clip, click speed/duration. I'm bringing it to about 18% here, and then you want to be sure to check off optical flow. Now scrub through that clip and find right before the actual snipe goes off, so right as you're with the sniper zooming in. You're going to want to cut there and then turn up the clip speed to 200%. You're going to keep it at 200% until right after the snipe goes off and you're beginning to zoom out. At that point, you're going to want to cut again, right click the new part, slow that down to 15%. This will add a sense of recoil that was done entirely through the video's time manipulation. After that slow motion phase, you're going to want to cut again. I like to do it right when the reload animation is halfway through and make the remainder 100%. This is all of the time manipulation we're going to do for the edit. It's the hardest part and it's already done. So now that we finished our slow motion and our fast forward areas, we're going to go to our song and pick a point in the song where there's a very notable drop. You'll see I have it pre-selected here in the audio. What you're going to want to do is, just like with our clip originally, mark in and mark out and drag your audio onto the timeline. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. You're going to want to scrub through the audio file and find exactly the point where the beat drops. You're going to want to cut moments before, as close to before that drop as you can get, and you're going to want to separate the two clips. You're going to want to pull the first, the build up to the drop out of the way, and you're going to want to actually take the drop and put that exactly on the sniper firing, right where the bullet goes off. An easy way to do that is to look at the clip and identify what's the frame that has the flare coming out of the barrel in it. That's where we want the drop to be in this. After the song has been split up, it's going to stop right before the first slow motion and come back in right when the bullet goes off. We're going to start pulling in our other sound effects. So the first one is going to be a riser. You're going to want to pull in the riser and have it leading up to just before the snipe actually goes off. So right before that beat, we want the riser to build the suspense. And also note, I'm turning down a lot of my audio here. If you look at the graph on the right, you can kind of see where you want your audio to land. It's going to be between -10 and -15. So once the riser's in, I'm going to pull in 2 more whooshes right at the start of the clip, and they're both going to be for the transition to slow motion. So right when the clip slows down, we're going to want to whoosh just so you can kind of feel the transition in the clip a bit more. And then after that, we're going to have the heartbeat effects mixed with the riser, and this all adds to the sense of suspense and will make your viewer really want to stick with the clip until they see the snipe fulfilled. So now that the beginning whooshes are done and the riser's done, the song is done, we're going to put in one more whoosh to impact sound effect just before the snipe goes off. You'll see me drag it into place here. And this is again just to add a greater sense of impact to the snipe so the viewer really feels it. The last sound effect we're going to add in is not a whoosh, but it's actually going to be the gunshot sound effect from the firing range. Obviously, we're going to layer this on exactly when the snipe goes off, and you're going to want to turn this up so you get a really clean, crisp sounding sniper noise in your clip. Congratulations, you finished making the audio portion of this video. Now it's time for the last step, and that's our visual effects. So the first thing we're gonna do is take that first slow motion clip, you're gonna hold Alt on your keyboard and drag up. Then what you're gonna do is go over to Effect Controls, and you're gonna find Opacity. And keep in mind, we're working on the top clip here. Once you find Opacity, you're gonna click the Eclipse Mask tool, and you're gonna make a mask on that top layer. Now, use mask expansion so it fills up a decent majority of the screen, but doesn't quite make it to the edges. Once that's in place, you're now going to navigate to the layer below, our base layer here, and you're going to go up to Effects, type in Brightness and Contrast, and drag Brightness and Contrast onto the clip. Now back in Effect Controls, you're going to go down to Brightness and Contrast Effect, and you're going to click the stopwatch next to Brightness. This is going to create a keyframe. You're going to drag that first keyframe to the beginning and keep it at 0. And now you're going to make a new keyframe and set it to -45. This will make the border of the clip here, what's behind our mask, progressively get darker and add to the feeling of suspense that we're going for. Go back to the top layer, and you're going to want to make sure you have a decent feather in there as well. I like to keep mine at about 250. After you've created the shadow effect leading up to the snipe, it's time to add a bit more of a flash to the sniper clip for when the shot actually goes off. We're going to drag our white square onto the sequence, and you're going to want to find right where that snipe goes off. Again, we're looking for the flare. At that point, we're going to add a keyframe on opacity for the white square, and we're going to make it 15. You're going to go 2 frames before, make the opacity 0, and then you're going to go 5 frames after and make the opacity 0 again. This will add a nice flash when the snipe actually goes off. Also, don't forget with the white square to turn up the scale. Once the white square effect is complete, you're going to want to go back into the import bucket, right click, click new item, adjustment layer, and make sure you have the FPS to match the sequence we're working in. For most video game edits, this is going to be on 60 FPS. Drag that in over your clip, and you're going to want to have the adjustment layer start right after that snipe goes off again. In the right, under Effects, type in Lumetri Color, and you're going to want to drag that onto your adjustment layer. Now go down to Basic Correction, and you're going to want to copy the numbers that I'm showing now in the video. Once you've got all the numbers copied, add a keyframe right at the start of the clip, and then go maybe 50 frames forward and just click Reset, the little rewind button, to bring all those keyframes back to normal, so this kind of glowing, colorful flash effect will fade as the video goes on. For the next edit, we're going to add another adjustment layer. You can just reuse the one that you already created and drag it above the previous adjustment layer. You want it to start 50 frames before the actual snipe goes off. An easy way to do this is to hold Shift and then tap the left arrow key 10 times. Each time you do that, it'll automatically skip 5 frames. So go 50 frames back. Once you have the starting point of the adjustment layer set, you're going to want to go into Effects, search up Transform, and drag that onto your top adjustment layer. You're going to want to navigate to Scale under Transform, and again, find the point where the bullet actually goes off, add a keyframe for scale there, and make it 130. You can go about 10 frames forward, it doesn't really matter, but click Reset on that scale keyframe button so it returns to normal. And then 50 frames before it, you're gonna wanna put the scale to 100 there as well. What this is gonna do is add a quick little zoom in effect as you lead up to the snipe and then bounce out once the shot actually goes off. Again, it builds suspense, then we feel the recoil that much more when there's a zoom out. Now, the last edit that we're going to add to this starts with another adjustment layer. You're going to bring it up to the top level. You're going to go to Effects, search up Crop, and bring that right on top of your adjustment layer. We're going to want this adjustment layer to completely cover everything past that first slow motion. Navigating to the start of the layer, we're going to want to keyframe bottom and top under Crop. And then go to the end of that clip, or like 5 frames before the end of it, and add another set of keyframes for top and bottom, and then you're going to want to set those keyframes to 13%. It should be about, 5 or 6 frames forward should be the end of this adjustment layer right before the snipe, and that's when we want the crop to come in and then bounce out really quick. So click the reset button there so it bounces out. That's the last edit. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them in the comments and I'll be very quick to respond to them. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Bye.